Hey everybody, the beautiful thing about this is we never know where the conversation is going to go. And this one, it goes to some really beautiful places that are going to cause us to just kind of like take a fresh look at the things that we have and the meaning within them. So we're really excited that you're here and enjoy. Hello everybody, welcome back. Glad you're with us.
Yeah.
And we're glad we're with each other. And that's kind of the point. Like we are just together. And I don't know, we get inspired by each other and we enjoy talking with each other and talking about things going on in Christ's community and our own lives. And this is just good.
Yeah,
so
it's good. Yeah.
We're here.
It's even hard to kind of turn the corner and get going because it's like finally the four of us are here. We have a lot to catch up on. So it's like, hold on just a second. We gotta
let us talk.
And it's like, but all of our time is going down the tube. So here we are.
Yeah. Okay. So something's been happening. It's minor, and I don't know where this will take us. But something about my dad, he's been preparing for his death for a very long time. Like
intentionally.
For the past decade, he'll just randomly be like, "Hey, I need to update my will, and I'm going to send you a copy, and you need to sign it." And me and my sister will be like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm fine." And so recently he sent out this thing that my sister and I have been calling the death list. And he made this document with pictures of all these like objects and possessions that he has. And he wants us to claim these different things for
I love this so much. This is the best podcast already.
And again, my sister and I are like, "Are you okay?" He's like, I'm fine. I just don't want you guys to fight when I die." And it's like, well, when are you
like,
die?
"I'll be fine."
Yeah. And so it's like he sent us these pictures of like furniture and like he really wants us to have our grandparents' desk, but it's like huge. And it's like, where on earth will we put this? And it's like a really nice desk. But one of the things on this list was this really, I don't know like the correct artistic terms, but a print of a painting. It's not a painting of the prodigal son coming home to his dad. And what I like about it is like, it's not like this grand thing. It's like, I don't know, the painting is almost like both of them live in poverty kind of a thing. It's just this, and it's heavy and it's dark, but it's also like full of love. And
is it the Rembrandt one?
No, it's not the Rembrandt one.
Okay. Rembrandt, that's
yeah,
what it is.
And so I put my name on that. And so I was like, great. So whenever he dies, and so like a month ago we had lunch together and he said, "Hey, I brought it." And again, it's like, "Are you dying? Like, why are you giving me this
to be after
now?" Like he's like so proactive about his death. And so it's just been in my office at home. But then, and this is what happens when you get too proactive about your death. He lets me know. It's like, "Hey, your niece said that she really wants this. Did I give it to you?" And I was like, "You did." So I reached out to my sister. But before I did, like, just to like, I don't know. I grew up seeing this in my dad's office, and it carries like a lot of heart.
The painting?
And stuff. And he was a pastor, and like, so it's cool that he had that in his office. And so I was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if it was in mine." So it kind of carries the sentimental value. So I looked online, like I took a picture of it and did a reverse image search on Google, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And again, it's a print. It's not like the painting. I'm not like sitting on like this really valuable
gold mine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything about like the artist or anything like this. And so like it's sort of irreplaceable. But I texted my sister and I said, "Hey, like it sounds like your daughter like was interested in this. Can you check in and like see how badly she wants this? Because like if she really wants this, like I'm happy to give it." Because there's a couple other things in this decades-long process of preparing for his death that he has already given me that are much more valuable and stuff. So, like I've joked. It's like, well, now the only good things about my dad dying have already happened. So when he dies, it's just going to be sad. Like there's nothing good that's going to happen after that. No closure or consolation. So my sister comes back, and my niece And my sister and her husband, my niece and her parents, like a while ago, they had like a big falling out, which is, I mean, I don't know, that's just life. Like, that's just family. And my sister said, it sounds like she really feels like this image depicts how we welcomed her back in.
Oh.
And I was just like, okay.
How old is your niece?
She's like in her early 20s.
Okay.
Early mid-20s.
Okay. I thought, like in my mind, I was picturing a 7-year-old.
No,
I want it.
No, she's like in her early mid-20s.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Like I told her, it's like, next time I see my dad, I'm going to give this back to him so that when he dies, he can, or probably beforehand, he could give it to her. And there was something about, it's like, I can't find another one of these. And it really was giving something up of like, but seeing something that like carried so much meaning of like, okay, like this is like the story of the prodigal son and the way that this image depicts it. It's like, this is my heart as a pastor, but there's something about this kid experienced the reality of that and how much more meaningful the symbolism is that for someone who has experienced that in their life compared to this is just their heart. So that's what I've been thinking about
like
lately.
the actual practice of you giving the painting back. That's who you are as a pastor.
Yeah.
You are becoming the painting. I think that's incredible. I think too, like, your dad, I love him. Like, I love him. In this book I've been doing, the guy talks about that the people who contemplate their own mortality seem to be the most wholesome and they experience the most joy in the time that they have because they understand it's temporary. I think there's a lot of beauty in there that he gets to experience by passing out things ahead of time because he gets to see his children saying that the things he has are valuable. And so I'm kind of like seeing that, like, man, that's so cool to see that.
That reminds me, what was that book you told me to read a couple years ago?
The Bible?
No.
Have you cracked that one open yet?
After I'm Gone?
After I'm Gone, yeah.
Yeah, it was like this. The whole heart is like writing these letters before you're actually dead to the people that you love. Like there's something beautiful about that.
Yeah. Man, that's good.
Man, I love that story. My dad flew me out to his house just to show me where he buried his money in the backyard.
Nice.
And that would be something that would be okay to give before you're dead as well. Very appreciated.
Did he fly you out because like he didn't like want to tell you over the phone?
Well, like so he doesn't trust the banks. Number one, like so he's totally under the right. He's a total redneck. Like he looks like Uncle Si. You guys have all met him, but he needed to show me where he buried it in the cans in the back because it's like wooded and forested. So he's like, all right, so you got to go like 15 steps this way. And like,
Gosh,
I kid
love
you
that
not.
so much. After he goes,
I'm going to go out there.
No. Could all of us just come along to help you dig it
up?
up?
Let's go to Tunnel Hill, Georgia. Let's go find where he's put his money.
See what's in it.
I'm kind of being serious. I would love to do
Yeah,
that.
that would be super cool.
Yeah, you fly into Chattanooga, drive down to Tunnel Hill. It is such a but that was my dad's version of trying to give me his death list.
I will say it's my parents are kind of going through the same thing. However,
this is comforting.
It is.
I'm glad.
Yeah. I think we're all kind of somewhat in the same stages of life, but instead of saying like, hey, would you want this? I'm like, where did this go? My mom's like, oh, we donated that. We're like, they're just clearing stuff out. And she keeps saying, she's like, we just have so much stuff. We have so much stuff. And I was with them the other day for a few hours and she was like telling me all this stuff that she's just getting rid of. And you know, even like for Christmas, what are you guys like thinking? What do you want? They want nothing. You know, they just want nothing because they're like doing this purge. And I am still in a stage of life where I'm consuming, you know, and you start to think like, when will that stage hit that it's like it's time to start purging. It's time to start offloading and not.
Yeah. I've been curious just a bit. I have the first child who has gone to college here at our table, and there's like a heart shift that happens because you see that the things you have either benefit those that are coming after you or they do not. And so I'm like doing this as far as like my house goes. It's like, so does this house benefit Zion going forward, or is it just going to be sold and turned into cash? Like I'm starting, and he and I talk about like the goal is for me to build an orchard, and the goal that he has that I've been telling him is like, don't ever cut these trees down. I'm happy to plant them. I'm happy like to make them, but don't ever cut these down. And so I'm finding joy in building something that potentially is going to transcend the time that I'm here, compared to thinking about like, what am I participating in that's going to bring joy to me. And I think like that's the thing that your dad is getting to participate in, right? Like he is like he is passing things down, he's seeing it, he's experiencing it, and the things that are going to transcend the time that he's here on the earth. And so your parents thinking beyond here's the things that I have, it's like some of these hold value, I'm going to pass these on, but some of these things they're not that valuable, and the goal that they have to cipher their hearts, that's a cool practice, to be able to hold these things before God and say, is there value here?
Well, and that's a lesson I think that for those of us who aren't in that stage yet of purging probably need to learn, right? Because like we do live in a world that is all about consumption. You need more, you got to accumulate and get a bunch of crap. But like you get to a point where you're like, but do I even need this? Like if we were to go to our storage closets in our houses, like maybe you have it in the basement or whatever, but when is the last time you actually looked at some of the stuff that's in there or used it? Like we hold on to things because I think there's this poverty mindset that exists in a lot of us. There's this fear mindset. But I think when you get to a certain age, you go, no, I'm actually good. Like I don't need all this stuff.
I only need 4 coffee cups.
But
They all have a story.
But I have 40.
It makes me wonder though, like how much more joy could we actually experience right now in these seasons of our life if we actually look to the generations ahead of us to learn those lessons, so that we're not sitting there when we're 70, 80 years old going, oh, we got too much stuff, we got to get rid of it. It's like, man, I would love to live with just enough to be able to fully enjoy where I'm at, but also still have stuff to be able to pass on and give on. But it's stuff of value. Right. Like when I get a book collection from my grandpa, when when he went into the home, there were only a handful of books that I wanted to keep.
Right.
There were a bunch where I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care about this Western novel from 1978. But if you look at most people's bookshelves, they got a lot of Western novels from 1978.
I feel like for me, I've gone through seasons of like contentment and been like, I don't feel the need for anything. I feel completely settled. And then I'll go through seasons of we need a refresh.
Yeah.
This needs to, like.
It's good.
I don't know what that means, but it's probably unhealthy more than anything.
All right, I got a story to share that just happened, and it applies, but it doesn't. So it's going to like turn the corner a bit, but kind of hold hands to our former conversation and bring it along. Like that's how I say it. Drag it up. And so if you're able to connect the dots, I would appreciate it.
That's our job.
Okay. So before I got married, I gave this quilt to my future mother-in-law. It had been a quilt that I had quilted in the 5th grade.
You quilted
I quilted it in the 5th grade. I was homeschooled in Ohio. Okay, and so
it's a quilter.
This is the way.
Just to paint this picture of like that's all homeschoolers in Ohio did. I had this Noah's Ark quilt.
Okay.
And so it was very like symbolic of this this son and mother experience to me. Here's something of value. Yeah. Here's a childhood heart. That sort of thing. And I gave her this quilt, and she is awesome. And she hung this quilt up, got like a tapestry hanger thing, and it's displayed, and it's super cool. So that happened back in like 2022 or something, like 2023. I don't know. So the other day on Saturday, I had gone over to her house, and I was in the basement, and I started seeing I saw this quilt. I'm just like, and my heart like brought me back home, like to the 5th grade, and like thinking about all the symbols of that. And the actual quilt itself had been Noah's Ark. All of the animals, and I'll have to show you guys a picture of it. I mean, it was a really and the patterns, there were pinwheel patterns that are pretty complicated, and I'm staring at this quilt, and I was like very proud of it, and it brought me back home to Ohio, and I can like picture the times that I was doing this, and man. And I did not say anything. I just it's important that you know, for the story about to happen, that I did not say anything. So I go home, and I go to church on Sunday. You gotta understand the time that has passed, and people like, I go home and I go to church on Sunday. I come home from church, and there is a bag on the front door, and the bag is a Noah's Ark bag, like a big one, like a quality bag, like the quality of bag people our age don't give to each other. It's like the older people give this bag. Like, you're like, wow, that was like a $10 bag compared to a garbage bag, right? And so I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so I take the bag inside, and I open the bag, and there is the most beautiful quilt I've ever seen. And it's this like beehive. It honors the bee. It's like a power beehive. Like I can't even it's not like a country bumpkin beehive. So it's like burning fire beehive. Yeah. Like, these bees are going to save the earth type of bee. Like, I don't even know how to like. And it's like the colors are deep and vibrant. And I open this card, and it's from a friend that I have not seen in a really long time. And she said, I saw this bee pattern, I thought of you. And so I quilted this for you. And I got goosebumps. And I was like, this bag is this note. And like, and I just had this thought just the other day about this quilt, and like who I had been. And then it came in this same bag that the old quilt belonged in. And here's this quilt of like who I am today, and my friend who I'm not talking, like it was this whole, and then she said in the card, you are so seen, and I'm so proud of you. And I was like, what is going on here? Somehow I think this ties into the prodigal son painting. Yep. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, it's the old heart carries the new heart. So I think about the story of quilts, right? As a child, there was this heart that obviously went into that quilt.
Right.
Now, as an adult, you have a different heart.
Right.
But like that heart of a child was still there. Well, the bag was a Noah's Ark bag holding this. And then I think about passing stuff off to your kids. It's like, these things that have value that we want to pass off, like they represent a part of who we are, and that has shaped the children and the people who come after us. And I don't know, there's something very beautiful and poetic about that. Like, can you send us a picture of that quilt too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really want to see that. Like, it's, man, but more than that, it's just like God saw you. And that's the thing. Yeah. Because Like, look, there's not ever a circumstance where I see a quilt and I think, ooh, I should buy this for Stetson.
No.
You know, but like they did in this moment.
It was cool
Yeah.
because like I'm someone who I value time. So if something takes time, then there's value in it for me. I value time. Time is everything. And so for her to have seen a pattern and then she sewed this or she quilted this quilt for me. Like it shows there was time and thought and prayer and like that's just cool.
That's beautiful.
But I think there's also value in gifts that don't take time, but you see the person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
KJ brought me a can of Barbasol. Because my love for Jurassic Park started in 5th grade.
Stetson was trying to figure out,
Okay.
where is that scene, Jenny?
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, I think what you said about time, I think ties in. Like I was trying to connect the dots too, and I think it fits too. I think it's possible that something that makes a gift really valuable is the time behind it, and it could be the time that it took to create the gift. But I think there's also something to be said about time, like infuses meaning into the gift.
Yeah.
Like if I just scrolled Google Images and came across the same painting my dad found, like it would have been a millisecond amount of meaning in it. But I grew up watching my dad for decades, like selflessly love people with this image in his office. And it's those years of him investing himself, being inspired by this thing that gives like meaning to it, that made me want to have it. And also all that meaning that made me want to share it with someone to who it meant like a lot more on a personal level. And so like you're talking about like things that like parents are like giving away and stuff. There sometimes it's just junk, like but other times like there's things about these things that people are giving away where it's not like the object itself, but all the time that was spent to infuse meaning and value into this thing, where it makes me want to never give an Amazon gift card to someone ever again. Like, like this is worthless, even though it has like a $50 symbol on it. But it makes me want to like think through, it's like, is there a way that I can free myself from, I don't want to call it materialism because like I think
it's not the same.
Yeah, we're broadening this. We're talking about like valuing the things that we have. It's not this
giving
blind
good
material.
gifts.
It is giving good gifts,
gifts.
but also there's something about it's like sometimes the more we give, like it frees up this space in our heart and our soul as well as our home, and like we feel lighter. Is there a way that I can give a gift to myself by giving this thing that I've had and infused meaning into to somebody else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When and that, I mean that is so antithetical to just the American mindset, right? Like, so we think about value. What actually has value? Like, what has substance? What has story? What has history? What has meaning beyond? Well, it's just a bigger TV that has clear. You know, like there's something about that. I don't know. I want to sit with that. Like I sit around this table. Like you guys are really good gift givers. Like for real. Like maybe not Jenny. No, I'm kidding. Jenny's just like, no, not me. But like I've seen KJ give gifts to people that he loves, and he will spend so much time thinking about the person, thinking about their journey, thinking about their story, and wanting to find something that encapsulates that. I want everything I give to have that kind of meaning, because like in the world of convenience, it's a lot easier to, oh, here's a $50 gift card, or I'm going to Apple Cash you money. You can go buy what you want. Like that feels like such a cheap substitute for caring for another person, then like, no, let me actually think about you and your story and your journey and what would actually bring you joy in life.
Ooh, here's another thing. If you find something you're considering giving to someone that forces you to recognize everything that thing contains. Like when I was contemplating texting my sister and saying, hey, if your daughter really wants this, like tell her she can have it. To get to that point, I had to like sit with the full scope of this thing. And it brought me to a place where like I truly appreciated not it, but everything within it. And by giving this thing away, I'm not giving away everything that is within it. Like I get to keep that. It's just kind of the vessel of it gets passed on.
Yes, but the thing that triggered that like, okay, I will pass this on, is the person getting the gift valued the gift.
Yes.
And there's something about giving gifts to someone who values gifts. In contrast, the entitlement, it's Christmas. I deserve a gift. It's my birthday. I deserve a gift. It's my birthday. What did you get me? Those are like gift killers. So if you're someone who enjoys giving, entitlement is the thing that pours a bucket of water on top of. So gratitude and gift giving, I think, go hand in hand. Like gratitude inspires gift giving and generosity, right? Like the heartbeat of this idea of like the freedom in giving things. Like that's the vocabulary of a generous heart. It's like, man, if you give good gifts, your heart is full. And I could picture that your dad's heart is full. He's like, I am excited to give.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably because he learned the lessons from the things that he had. And so like I think about you giving this thing away to your niece, right? Like right now it's yours 100%. But I think you learned the lesson of what that painting represents and of what that story represents. And because you don't need to hold on to it anymore. It's like, no, I got what I needed from this.
And that's going to honor your dad. That the painting hanging in his pastoral office fulfilled its purpose. And the son honors the father. I mean, like, come on, man.
Okay, what could someone listening to this take away from this and potentially do? Like, it could go 100 different directions, but like, is there something that this is like encouraging us to consider? Or
start cleaning your house.
That's right. Well, for me, it makes me want to like look around my house and be like, is there something that I have received all of the value from and it's someone else's turn?
Someone else's turn, yeah.
Or in my head, I'm thinking, what is it that I value that I hope someday my kids will value? This is a random story, but I'll come back to that. My like most loved thing that I've gotten from my parents are these tree stumps from the tree we had to cut down that I grew up with. And I have four of them, but they're rotting and decaying and they've been outside. You know, we put plants on them and stuff. They are growing these giant mushroom, like half moons on them. Yeah. But they're starting to like fall apart.
You ought to put like epoxy on it, like
epoxy.
No, like I mean.
Well, and my husband was like,
can fix this.
I think it's time that we need to get rid of those. And in my heart, I was like, I can't get rid of these tree stumps. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. I know they're gross, but I want to keep them.
They're my gross.
But they're my gross, yeah. But I think, like, if I'm thinking along the lines of like, what do I have that I feel like someday I hope my children would be like, I want that because I remember that. Like, that's where my brain is.
Okay, that story you just shared, I think, has a little more poetry than you might have even thought, because sometimes we hold on to things too long that we're supposed to get rid of and give away. and they do start to rot and grow mushrooms.
They're rotting.
Right. And so like, I love what you're talking about here, Stetson, and even Jenny, of like, what do we have that has served its purpose that we need to release? Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's one place that, people listening can go to. I think the other is this, thinking about the future and the things that we pursue and the things that we acquire and the things that we place value in. Really trying to just add a whole new level of intentionality to that. So instead of, well, I just need to get this for the sake of getting it, it's like, well, okay, but like, can I think beyond the materialistic here next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, the pleasure I might get from something brand new? It's like, okay, but like, is there actual significance behind this thing? Now, obviously, sometimes you need a t-shirt to wear, like whatever, like there's a practicality. So I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about these significant things, right? Because like, I have so many friends who are like, oh, I need to buy a bigger house and move into a bigger house. I need to buy a newer car. I'm like, what's wrong with your current car? Nothing. It's just not new, or it's just not big enough. It's like, well, okay, like, but is that really the wisest choice of where you want to put all of your resources towards? Because what is that going to mean that you have to say no to? Like, does that mean you're saying no to experiences with your kids? Does that mean that you're saying no to essentially creating an orchard that you can pass off to your kids? And so, yes, there is this reflective looking back, but there's also this, I think, wise looking ahead that we've got to do when we start thinking about this. Because, I mean, the reality is none of us get to our deathbed wishing we had more stuff. Like, that's just not going to happen. We wish we had more time. We wish we had things that carried more weight. And I think for all of us, right, no matter how young or old we are, we still have more time ahead of us. And so we still have the opportunity to be intentional about what we choose to place priority on and what we choose to put time and energy and resources into.
That's good. Have you ever read the book A Million Miles in a Thousand Years?
Donald Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? No. So it's this guy. He wrote a book called Blue Like Jazz.
Yep.
It became this really big sensation. People wanted to do a movie of it. The author had been excited, but the producer of this movie kind of came to a spot of like, so the character in the book is going to have to change so the movie is more exciting. And then Don Miller was like, no. But it's the story of me. I'm the character. And the producer said, it's boring. And so the book, A Million Miles in a Thousand Years, had been about this author, Donald Miller, who said, all right, if I'm going to compose a book about an exciting character, here are all the things that an exciting character would have to have. And so he then wrote out his own trajectory for the upcoming season so he would be an exciting character. And so then he actually did those things. Like he dropped a ton of weight. He found his father who abandoned him. He hiked Machu Picchu. He took a bike across the country, like all these things. And he's like, I'm trying to engage as much conflict as possible and hardship as possible and all these things so that it transformed him. There's something in the thing that you're saying that kind of inspired that idea of thinking forward and creating a good story and being able to pass things on compared to holding on to things in the past.
Yeah. Okay, I feel the energy of a fifth chair at the table, and that's you. And I feel like the four of us have brought this to the place where it's time for the person in the fifth chair to take it to the place where it really needs to go. So I hope you enjoy doing that. We've really enjoyed getting to experience this with you, even though you're not physically here. So, be blessed.
Yeah.
We love you. And, we'll see you next time.